Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends The Void Build-A-Figure Wave Power Princess, or known as Squadron Supreme Power Princess. I cannot say those four words together without stuttering on power. I don't know why. I've filmed this twice now, and I've gotten it wrong both times. Anyway, this was the big ticket item on the Wave, if you ask me. Let me check just to make sure. Is there anybody else in here we care about? This guy, I guess some people wanted, but otherwise, kind of not so good. So this one was the one I think most people were interested in. I definitely was, because it looked like Hasbro was actually trying on this one, and I have some very good news. A few bad newses, but it's mostly good newses. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, before we get into the figure, I do want to give you a quick glimpse at my package. I do like this Wave's packaging. I've mentioned it before with the red background and the usual red stuff. It looks nice. Artwork doesn't exactly match the figure, but it's not bad. They have the... I'm not super familiar with this character. Like, I know of her, but it's not like I've seen every comic panel with her in it. So I don't know if this is just a stylized art style or if she's supposed to have like the almost Atlantean look to her. I mean, I know she's not Atlantean, or at least I assume she's not. Anyway, it's a little bit stylized artwork, but it actually matches the figure mostly, and we don't normally get that, so that's a good thing. And yeah, it's decent packaging, it's fine. Okay, typical Hasbro fare. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Here she is up against Darwin. She's got some size to her. She also has really, really big wedge heels on, but that's okay. A little bit of size to her. She stands roughly, we'll call it 6 3/4, not counting a little bit of hair fluff. That's going to be about 17 centimeters. I think that's pretty good. And we're going to do a question of the day. Two questions. Which figure in this wave were you most interested in? For me, it was this one. And which one do you think is the best figure in the wave? For me, it's this one. All right, so let me just start off by saying they've done almost everything that I've been asking them to do in their figures on this one. And it's good. It's a really good figure. I'm not saying they're doing it because of me, but I'm not saying they're not. Specifically, the wrist hinges. I'm going to keep claiming that one's mine, but the rest, I think, is just they made a figure the way they're supposed to. It has unique stuff. It's not just painted on. 95% of the figures they make that have details like this right here, like the little, I guess it's like a belt. It's not, no belts go that far down on the peeper area, but you have that, and then you have whatever this is. Anyway, normally they just paint that crap on. This time they actually sculpted it. And hey, guess what? It looks really good. They actually sculpted wrinkles in the clothing. There's no wrinkling on the arms and legs. That's a good thing. It's where it belongs. It's not just a blank body that's been repainted. It is sculpted appropriately for the character. These things are okay. These things are okay. They should be painted because they don't look anywhere near as good as the gold on here, but the gold on here isn't as good as it could be. Either way, it's good enough, but those things, like, it's a new sculpt and it's appropriate for the character. It's really good. The proportioning is really good. Nice and heroic, or I should say comic. Comic-esque. It has the right look to it. She's muscular, she's lean, but not skinny. Like, it has all the right things in all the right places. It looks really, really good. You could argue that her legs are a bit long, but I'm thinking that's just the heels and an optical illusion. And I don't mind that, and female comic characters tend to have longer than normal legs anyway, so I don't mind that. I think it looks really good. Proportioning is very good. She doesn't have a giant head. She doesn't have crazy lollipops. She doesn't have all the problems they normally have. It looks very good from a sculpt and proportioning standpoint. The finish is not bad. It's a matte finish, and well, flat, almost flat for the skin, matte for the black parts, metallic golds. It looks solid, like really, really well done. There are a couple issues. I'll mention those briefly. The mold lines are obnoxious on this figure. It almost looks like she has two veins running down her bicep rather than the one. So I don't care for that. And then also, I don't know if anybody else has commented on this, but Hasbro has taken a horrible approach to articulation lately. Basically, ever since they started doing the insert molding, they've gotten really, really cheap and lazy with the way their joints look. And it's because it's easier to make them this way, but you don't have to. But they're choosing to, and so you have these really faceted looking joints. Those big flat spots in there look like hot garbage. The cutouts that they didn't used to do, as much. They're doing a lot more, and it just looks really, really like mechanical, and it doesn't look great. It doesn't lend itself to a human action figure, so that's a bit unfortunate. Let's talk about the head. I think they nailed it. It is a bit on the realistic side, but it's done well enough that I don't mind. I don't personally mind it at all. Stylistically, because of the sculpt work and everything going on in the figure, I don't mind a more realistic head. It's not like they took a really goofy ass looking body and put a realistic head on it. It matches well enough, and the face paint is exceptional. It's one of the best Hasbro's put out. Very, very well done. I think the hair is nicely done too. It has some flow to it, and it's not going to get in the way of the articulation as much. They've done a really, really good job. They are firing on all cylinders here. The only thing it doesn't have that I've mentioned consistently, other than, you know, like the little things here and there, like painting the plastic or whatever, is just a little bit of shading. It doesn't have shading anywhere except for the face. It does look good on the face, but, you know, a little bit on the legs, a little bit on the arms, kind of like the way Jada does it. You know, a little bit of shading goes a long way, so it doesn't have that. But damn, this is one of the best looking Marvel Legends probably in the last 5 years. Not counting MCU stuff. Really, really, really well done. Probably the best female figure. I haven't looked at the Black Widow that everybody's raving about, but I have seen photos of it, and I frankly don't get it. This figure looks better than that one to me, but I'll get it eventually, hopefully. I'm not paying more than retail, so probably not, I guess. But whatever. This figure's really good. Aesthetically speaking, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. I'll do that. Easily could have been better. Did not have the molded plastic for the golds, but that's not that big of a deal. Now, for hands, you do get the 2 gripping hands that come on in the package. They have vertical hinges, thank you. And then you get 2 extra hands, one that's just like kind of a relaxed / open hand, and then a fist hand. That's nice. We do get her sword and her shield. The shield looks really cheap. Sword looks halfway cheap. They definitely could be better, but they are included, and some alternate hands. The only thing we're really missing to make me a happy camper is an alternate head. So I'll go 7 out of 10. It's solid. There's nothing absolutely necessary that's missing, but it would have been nice to have those. Okay, so by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this yet. The stuff you're seeing on my hands is not dirt and filth, it's paint. I'm painting my basement, so I apologize, I couldn't get the paint off. And also my skin turned pink. I don't know if you can see that. Where the paint was on here, it turned pink. Anyway, okay, moving on. Articulation. I have good news. It doesn't have a lollipop. Look at that. The neck actually goes all the way up to the head. This sounds like when I say these things, it sounds so absurd because why wouldn't it? But that's the way Hasbro normally does it. So you have the double ball peg, so she can look down, she can lean it around. Like the hair does get in the way some, and they still do a bad job. Can I pop this off? Yeah, they still do a bad job with the double ball pegs. It's too far in there, but this one's a better one than we've seen. You really need that ball. Hasbro, this is free. I'm giving you this for free. Free consulting. Move the ball all the way up, as high as you can possibly get it. That will increase the range of motion. You have it too low. But they do have a bigger opening this time and bigger balls relative to the peg, so they're starting to get it. Not the best double ball peg, but it definitely allows for a little bit more subtle posing that you can't quite do with those other hinges. So yeah, I'll take it. Shoulders, full rotation, the hinge, just better than, well, we'll say just horizontal, that's okay. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow, not too shabby, not perfect. I mean, this is realistically all you need. Some people want to be able to do this with every arm. I don't personally want to do that. It is nice, though, to have the option. Come on, Darwin, cooperate. Like, you don't need to have the 180-degree bend, so I don't mind it. It doesn't have it, but I don't mind. Okay, and then, like I said, the wrists have the vertical hinge and a swivel, so that's good. Diaphragm joint on this figure. Doesn't lean back all that far. It's probably far enough, but it could go farther. Going forward, same thing. It's not very far. It's passable, but it's not especially good. Side to side is solid. Rotation is fine. Yeah, so that would be okay if there was another joint down here, but there's not, so this really needs to have a little bit more range, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Now the hips. You probably noticed if you own this figure, there's a little bit of a flare out right here at the top of her onesie or whatever you call it, I don't know. And that allows for this. basically full-on splits. It can be done. Not only because of that cutout right there, but because they put the point of, what's the word? I can't think of anything anymore. The place at which the articulation is located, there we go, is correct. So you can do full-on splits. Now, it's not all the way correct because bringing the leg forward is limited to that, unless you go out to the side. So that kind of blows. They probably could have adjusted that a little bit more, but it's still decent. You need to get your thigh swivel in there, that's fine. Double jointed knee works no problem. Proportioning is good because we have this big wedge on here that's extra length. At least it's good enough, we'll put it that way. You do get a boot swivel hidden behind that gold piece, so that's kind of nice if you like that. Ankles go really far back and really far forward, and you get as much of an ankle rocker as you can get out of something with a heel like this. So her articulation's solid. It's not great, it's not special. Some of it's good, some of it's not as good. I'll give it a 7. Okay, now it's time for the final verdict. One of my personal favorite releases from Hasbro in a long time, and I don't give two hoots about this character. It's just a better release. This is what 90% of their releases need to look like. A bunch of this is reusable. Only a few parts are specific, and they need to do that more. They need to get the proportioning down more. They need this good sculpt work more. Look where the shoulders are relative to the head. Like, it's just, everything about it is so much better than what they normally do. This is what they need to do way more often. I'm going to give this one an overall rating of 9 out of 10. One of the best products from Hasbro that I've reviewed, at least in the Marvel stuff, in a long time. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, but I am very pleased. And that's it for me today. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day, though lately I've been missing a lot because I'm too busy, but soon again I will have almost everyday videos. And in the meantime, I do have thousands of videos for you to keep watching, and you should keep collecting.